This presentation is all about safety in the elementary science classroom. The information provided here is to help you and your students be aware of potential hazards and dangerous situations that can pop up in a science classroom. All of the information provided in this presentation has been adapted from the American Chemistry Society, Chemistry for Life. Science activities in the elementary classroom are safe provided that you and your students are aware of potential hazards and take all necessary and appropriate precautions. By modeling safe lab practices and instructing your students to do the same, they will not only avoid injury now, but they will also be better prepared for lab experiences in the upper level science classes. The purpose of this information is to help you achieve the following: prevent accidents and injuries that occur in the classroom. Teach your students that safety is an important part of science. Gain awareness of the potential hazards and dangerous situations that exist in an elementary science classroom. And identify safe lab practices that students should know and follow. The scientists that developed this presentation recognize that they are not the only source of classroom safety information. You can consult with your science department in your school district, your state Department of Education, or science supply companies that serve K-12 schools. The first thing you need to do is take time to plan. Many potential hazards can be eliminated if you are organized and prepared. So you should become familiar with the procedures and the substances used in hands-on activities so you'll know what to expect. Always perform the activities and experiments before assigning them to students. And while practicing the experiment, you should consider the following: identify materials you will need and how you will distribute them to students. Identify safety issues and make a plan on how you will address these with students. Consider how you will instruct students as they conduct the activity. Consider possible emergencies and plan how you will handle them should they occur. Ensure that the necessary equipment and emergency supplies are readily available, and you should know how to use them. Plan how you will collect materials and safely dispose of waste after a classroom science activity. Plan to have students wash their hands after completing a lesson that includes an experiment or an activity. If you would like to use or combine chemicals on your own, find out whether or not the activity you are planning is safe to perform in a classroom setting. Consult a high school science teacher, your science supervisor, or a science professional to learn about any potential problems. Let's talk about gear. Grab your goggles and gear. You, your students, and any visitors to the classroom should wear goggles whenever you conduct or observe hands-on activities. You may find that you need to remind students that goggles work only if they cover a student's eyes, not their forehead or neck. However, wearing goggles is just one way to protect your eyes when conducting science activities or experiments. Consider the following to ensure that you or your students are properly protected during science activities. Wear properly fitting splash-proof safety goggles when working with chemicals or observing others who are working with chemicals. Always wear splash-proof safety goggles when working with or observing students who are using chemicals, hot liquids, or flying liquids. Wear a laboratory apron or art smock made of cotton if there's a chance of soiling or damaging clothing. Use gloves, heat or cold resistant mitts, or other hand protection when working with hot materials, dry ice, noxious plants, or live animals. Tie back long hair and secure loose clothing and dangling jewelry, especially when working with chemicals or heat sources. And lastly, remind students to keep science materials away from their mouths, noses, or eyes when conducting or cleaning after an activity or experiment. Checking your science equipment. You will find that most K-6 science activity procedures call for household chemicals. Before using these, study the product label carefully to learn the hazards and warnings. Check the materials safety data sheet when using a chemical purchased from a science supply company. When using a chemical purchased from a science supply company that serves K-12 schools, you're going to check the material safety data sheet, or the MSDS. Always store chemicals and solutions in properly labeled containers meant for holding chemicals and solutions. Never store chemicals in containers that were originally used for food. Be sure to dispose of chemicals properly. Keep the MSDS handy when using a chemical. If a student is injured as a result of coming into contact with the chemical, the MSDS sheet will explain what to do. Be sure to send the injured student to the nurse's office along with that sheet. Every MSDS should be on file in the school district office as well as in the school or science department office. Copies should be available for every classroom. Always wear cotton or insulated gloves, such as gardening or work gloves, when handling dry ice. The solid carbon dioxide is extremely cold and can damage bare skin. Store dry ice in a container, such as an open cooler or cardboard box, so that carbon dioxide gas can escape. If placed in a sealed container, the gas pressure will build and may cause the container to explode. Checking your science tools. Keep the use of glass to a minimum by using it only when necessary. Plastic, non-breakable containers are often a fine substitute. Cuts are among the most common of all laboratory injuries. Take proper precautions when using sharp objects, such as knives, scalpels, compasses with sharp points, wires, needles, or pens. Carefully consider whether cutting or sharp tools are really needed. If necessary, tools that have retractable blades are recommended. Pre-cutting materials will eliminate the need for students to handle cutting tools. If students must use sharp objects, demonstrate how students should safely handle those items to prevent injury. Store batteries with at least one terminal covered with tape. Batteries with any signs of corrosion should be discarded according to school policy or local disposal regulations. Because the contents of batteries are potentially hazardous, do not cut batteries open or take them apart. Old batteries should not be thrown away with the regular classroom trash. We're going to dispose of these with one terminal covered with tape in the community hazardous waste recollection bin or recycling bin. This is to help minimize environmental impact. You could also consider using rechargeable batteries. Check your thermometers. Use alcohol thermometers instead of traditional mercury thermometers. Mercury from broken thermometers is difficult to clean up, and the vapor from spilled mercury is dangerous and toxic for the environment. Thermometers with plastic or metal backings are best. If using glass thermometers without this support, they should be equipped with a cap or triangular ring to prevent rolling. Students must not use thermometers as stirring rods. Think before you bring plants and animals into the classroom. Here are things that we need to consider before bringing plants, animals, or having a class dissection. Never place seeds or plants used in science in your mouth. Always wash your hands after working with seeds and plants. Many store-bought seeds have been coated with insecticides, fertilizers, or both. Approximately 700 species of plants are known to cause illness or death, so you should learn about the plants in your area that are harmful and be sure to avoid contact with these. You could contact your local agricultural extension office to learn more. When taking students on trips into areas where they may be exposed to hazardous plants such as poison ivy, be prepared to instruct students to recognize and avoid. Learn the signs of plant poisoning so that you can act quickly if a student exhibits such signs after a lesson. Symptoms may include one or more of the following: headache, nausea, dizziness, vomiting, hives, itching, and other skin irritations. Thinking about live animals, Give students a safety lesson to show them how to properly care for and treat an animal before bringing it into the classroom. Students should handle animals voluntarily and only under strict, close supervision. While they're handling it, they should not mistreat animals or mishandle them. Animals caught in the wild have no place in your classroom. Wild animals may have serious diseases, such as rabies, or may carry infectious diseases. They are dangerous to people. For example, turtles may carry salmonella. Thinking about dissections, only dissect animals that have been purchased from a science supplier to K-12 schools specifically for that purpose. Never dissect any other animal corpse. Do not use any animal body that has been preserved in formaldehyde. Thinking about growing mold or bacteria in your classroom, think again. Absolutely 100% not allowed in the elementary science classroom, and it's very hazardous and dangerous. Growing mold or bacteria can threaten the health and safety of all the students and the teachers in the surrounding area of the classroom. Just don't do it. Preventing burns and fires. Some things to consider when heating materials. The area surrounding a heat source should be clean and have no combustibles nearby. Students should not work with hot materials such as very hot water. Not all glass can handle the stress of being heated, so don't use household glass. Use only borosilicate laboratory glassware such as Pyrex when heating substances. Common household liquids such as alcohol or oil are flammable and should not be heated. Heat only water or water solutions. Never use alcohol burners, and handle all hot materials using the appropriate type of tongs. What about hot plates? Use only laboratory type hot plates that are sealed against major spills and minor spills. Place the hot plate in a location where a student cannot pull it off the worktop or trip over the power cord, and never leave the room when the hot plate is plugged in, whether or not it's in use. Keep students away from hot plates that are in use or still hot unless you are right beside the students and have given them specific instructions. Before handling a hot plate, make sure that it's both unplugged and cool. You can check to see if a hot plate is still too hot by placing a few drops of water on the surface. If the water does not evaporate, it should be cool enough to touch. Thinking about fire. Use only safety matches, but even with these, handle and use matches yourself. If you decide that students themselves must use matches as part of a science activity or experiment, provide explicit instructions on how to safely use them, and only permit students to use them under your direct supervision. Students should use candles only under your strict supervision. Use tea candles that are short and wide and cannot be knocked over in normal use. Place other candles in a drip pan, such as an aluminum pie plate, that's large enough to contain the candle if it's knocked over. Never leave the room while a flame is lit or other heat source is in use. Know the location of the nearest fire extinguisher and make sure you know how to use it. Check your school's policy about what to do in the event of a fire, and know the location of the nearest fire alarm. Have a map by the door of the classroom illustrating its location. Cleaning up broken glass and spills in the lab. Clean up broken glass by using a broom and dustpan. Do not touch and do not allow students to touch broken glass. Dispose of the glass in a separate container and label it to inform others that it contains broken glass. Clean up any spill immediately, especially a liquid spill. This will prevent further contamination of the work area and the possibility of slipping, falling, or tracking the chemical to another location. When using household or other chemicals, follow the cleanup instructions on the label. Throw away all paper towels or other cleanup materials in a separate container for chemical waste. Do not put chemical waste in the normal trash containers. So establishing emergent procedures is very important in the elementary science classroom. In order to do this, talk with other science teachers and your principal to develop and establish emergency procedures for first aid, electric shock, poisoning, burns, allergic reactions, fire, evacuations, spills, or animal bites. Find contact information and keep it handy so that you can contact the appropriate authorities and response agencies in the event of an emergency. Now let's talk about how you utilize student safety rules in the elementary science classroom. Introduce safe practices and help your students understand why and how these practices are used. You may either set the rules or have students help you develop science safety rules. Either way, make sure students understand these rules and why they are necessary. You may choose to have students create posters for display in the room throughout the year to emphasize safety and remind students of the specific safety rules. You should review these following rules with your students before beginning an activity. Always get your teacher's approval before conducting a science activity, and be sure to have your teacher supervise whenever you conduct a science activity. Never experiment on your own. Always wear safety goggles when your teacher tells you to do so. Do not remove your goggles until your teacher says that it is okay. If instructed to do so, wear an apron or smock to protect your clothing. Read and follow all warning labels on substances being used. Be sure your teacher is aware of any allergies you may have. Carefully follow all instructions when conducting a science activity. Be sure to use substances exactly as described in the activity. Keep all materials used in the science activity away from your mouth, nose, and eyes. Do not place your hands on your face when conducting or cleaning up after an activity. Never taste anything during the science activity. If an investigation involves testing, it will be done in the cafeteria. Tie back long hair and secure loose clothing and dangling jewelry. Know the location of all safety equipment, such as the goggle cabinet, fire blanket, first aid kit, and so forth, in or near your classroom. Safety equipment must remain in good working condition. Do not play with it. Tell your teacher immediately if an injury, spill, or other accident occurs. Clean up your work area after conducting a science activity. And lastly, wash your hands with soap and water after completing a science activity. Every young student must follow safety rules and have a sense of whether or not a behavior will be safe. Make it clear that students who do not follow these rules will lose the privilege of taking part in fun, hands-on activities. For the safety of all, misbehaving students must be removed from the area where hands-on activities are being conducted. As students continue to learn about the importance of science safety throughout their elementary school years, they will transfer these skills beyond the science classroom to other classes, to the science lab in middle and high school, and to life in general. Thank you for joining me for the science safety in the elementary classroom.